I struggle with depression and anxiety. I would have to say I realized it about 2 years ago. I noticed the mood swings, like, one day I'd be up and the next day I'd be down, feeling like I don't want to go out in public.
While millions came to love Taraji P. Henson as the unstoppable cookie lion on Empire and admired her Oscar-nominated role in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, few know the devastating truths she's faced off-screen. From losing her high school sweetheart in a brutal act of violence to the emotional toll of raising her son alone and confronting the ugly reality of Hollywood's treatment of black women. In this video, we'll pull back the curtain on Taraji P. Henson's real life, a life marked by courage, pain, and a relentless fight for respect. Stay with us, because the tragedy of Taraji P. Henson is truly heartbreaking. The rise of a star. Born and raised in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., Taraji P. Henson's early years were far from easy. At just 4 years old, she watched her parents' rocky marriage end in divorce. After moving out of the family home with her mom, Taraji found strength and guidance from her grandmother, Patsy Ballard. Even now, at 100 years old, Patsy is still Taraji's anchor. "What I love about my grandmother is her unconditional love," Taraji once told Entertainment Tonight. "She taught the whole family how to love and keeps us so close. All my cousins and I are tight because of her. And of course, she prayed. A lot. She still prays for me, and I know those prayers brought me this far. My grandmother is my everything." Despite those early struggles, Taraji's lively, fearless personality stood out from a young age. She was drawn to the arts, determined to make acting her future. After high school, she enrolled at Howard University, juggling multiple jobs to make ends meet, working mornings as a secretary at the Pentagon and performing as a singing-dancing waitress on a dinner cruise boat at night. She graduated in 1995 with a degree in theater arts, all while raising her son, Marcel Johnson, on her own. In May 2022, she was awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters from Howard, becoming Dr. Taraji Penda Henson, a testament to how far she had come. "I never saw my baby as a roadblock to my dreams or a reason to give up," she wrote in her 2016 memoir, Around the Way Girl. "Having my son gave me laser-sharp focus." She went on to share what she called the miracle of single motherhood. "It is not easy to raise a human being with a partner, but doing so alone requires a Herculean effort built on muscle and grit, with repetitive sets of sacrifice. Whatever you gain, whatever you earn, you give to your baby. And you work 3 times as hard to show your child, not the world, that moving forward, even in tiny steps, is possible. That is a single mother's love. Fighting fierce." With just $700 to her name, Taraji P. Henson took a leap of faith and moved to Los Angeles, determined to carve out a place for herself in an industry notoriously tough on black women. Her first on-screen break came in 1998 with Streetwise, but it was John Singleton's 2001 film, Baby Boy, that truly made her a household name. Starring opposite Tyrese Gibson, their chemistry struck such a chord with audiences that they're still considered one of the most iconic on-screen couples ever. When it comes to Taraji, because we did Baby Boy together, people don't want to see her with any other man on screen, and they don't want to see me with any other woman, Tyrese joked to Huffington Post. "It's almost like Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams from The Notebook." As Taraji's career skyrocketed with hits like Hidden Figures, 2016, Proud Mary, 2018, and The Color Purple, 2023, she also became painfully aware of the pay gap facing black actresses. She was often paid far less than her white counterparts, or even male co-stars, despite carrying equal weight in a film. Refusing to stay silent, Taraji used her platform to speak up about this systemic inequality, inspiring countless black actresses to demand fair pay and recognition. Have we seen enough representation of African Americans in stories? No. But has Hollywood been horrible to me? No. I've worked. Did I get paid what I deserve is the question we should be talking about, she told the Hollywood Reporter. She continued, I've been getting paid, but I've fought tooth and nail every project to get the same damn quote. And it's a slap in the face when people say, oh, girl, you're always working. Well, goddamn it, I have to. It's not because I want to do 2 movies a year and chill. I have to work because the math ain't mathing. I've got bills. After 2 decades of fighting, Taraji admitted she sometimes feels exhausted, but keeps going because she knows the stakes are bigger than just herself. I know that the legacy I leave will affect somebody coming up behind me, she explained. My prayer is that I don't want these black girls to have the same fights that me, Viola, Davis, Octavia, Spencer, we out here thugging it out. Otherwise, why am I doing this? For my own vanity? There's no blessing in that. I've tried twice to walk away from the business, but I can't, because if I do, how does that help the ones coming up behind me? Going through it. Taraji's frustration with the industry is what pushed her to launch her own production company, TPH Entertainment. Her goal? To uplift and empower rising actors, improve representation for marginalized communities on screen, and tear down barriers so the next generation can thrive without getting lost in all the red tape. Beyond fighting for change within Hollywood, Taraji has also committed herself to broader advocacy. Off-camera, she's become a powerful voice for mental health awareness, especially in the Black community. Having faced her own battles with anxiety and depression, she knows how heavy the stigma can be. In 2018, she founded the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, named in honor of her late father, who struggled with mental health issues after returning from the Vietnam War. The foundation provides crucial resources and support to African Americans who are often overlooked in the mental health care system. Through her Facebook watch show Peace of Mind with Taraji, she and her best friend Tracy Jenkins tackle these issues head-on. Featuring honest, vulnerable conversations and practical tools from therapists and experts, the show covers everything from PTSD and ADHD to bullying and suicidal thoughts. Episodes like Why Black Men Don't Cry, featuring Chance the Rapper, have been especially powerful. Taraji's willingness to be open about her own struggles has made her a beacon of hope for so many who feel alone. Humans have a light side and a dark side, and it's up to us to choose which way we're going to live our lives, she shared on the show. Even if you start out on the dark side, it doesn't mean you have to continue your journey that way. You always have time to turn it around. You can't get over it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it. It's okay to take moments in life to take care of yourself. This is not about grinding. Grinding can kill you. It's not healthy. In a world that loves to put people in boxes, Taraji refuses to be boxed in. She's an actress, an advocate, a mother, and a trailblazer. The Untold Truth of Taraji P. Henson. Her first real burst of recognition came in 2005, when she starred alongside Terrence Howard in Hustle and Flow, playing a pregnant prostitute. But it wasn't until she reunited with Howard to play the fierce, unforgettable Cookie Lion on Empire that she truly became a household name. Cookie's bold, animal print-wearing ex-con persona resonated with audiences and launched Taraji to the superstardom she had long deserved. Since then, countless doors have opened for the Howard University alum, including a powerful leading role in Hidden Figures, 2016. Still, behind the Golden Globe-winning performances, Taraji's real-life story has had twists and turns worthy of its own TV drama, from devastating violence to allegations of abuse. But there have been bright spots, too, moments of triumph and hope that reveal the strength at her core. Let's take a deeper look at the incredible, untold truth of Taraji P. Henson, the woman behind the roles. Finding comfort in Carol Burnett. Growing up in a tough neighborhood in Washington, D.C., Taraji P. Henson faced experiences no child should ever have to witness. One of the most traumatic memories she shared in her memoir, Around the Way Girl, was watching in horror as her mother was held up at gunpoint while she stood frozen at just 6 years old. Life in those circumstances was far from easy, but Taraji found an escape through television. It became her refuge from the harsh reality outside. In a 2016 Instagram post celebrating her Fox variety special Taraji's White Hot Holidays, she reflected, "Variety comedy-style shows were always my safe haven. I always dreamed of being on the Carol Burnett show or a show like that." Although she never made it onto Carol Burnett's stage, Taraji decided to bring her own dream to life, creating a show in the spirit of those childhood favorites and making her own mark on entertainment history. No one could stop this single mom. After finishing high school, Taraji P. Henson first enrolled at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University with plans to study electrical engineering. But her passion for the arts pulled her in another direction, leading her to transfer to Howard University to pursue theater. During her undergraduate years, Henson found out she was pregnant. Many people around her assumed that would derail her dreams. But she refused to let that happen. "When I got pregnant in college, people said, 'This is it for her.' But I did not stop. I never missed a class. I was in the school musical when I was 6 months pregnant. We just made the character pregnant," she shared with glamour. After giving birth, she decided to chase her dreams in Los Angeles. Her father tried to convince her to leave her son behind with family, but Taraji wouldn't hear of it. Looking back, she credits her son with keeping her focused. "I didn't have time to go to the club to network. That's BS. No business deals go down at the club, so I didn't get caught up in that. I had a mission. I had to make my dream come true. If I didn't, what was I proving to my son?" Alleged abuse and a tragic ending. During her junior year of college, Taraji P. Henson became pregnant by her boyfriend, William Lamar "Mark" Johnson, and welcomed their son, Marcel Johnson, in 1994. Though Taraji fully embraced motherhood, her relationship with Mark soon fell apart. Just a few months after giving birth, Henson decided to end things and asked Mark to leave, with people reporting that he had allegedly become abusive during a heated argument. Despite going their separate ways, Mark stayed involved in Marcel's life while Taraji pursued her acting dreams in Los Angeles with just $700 in her pocket and her baby in tow. Sadly, tragedy struck years later. "Mark was killed last night," Henson wrote in her memoir without sharing many details. According to Star magazine, he died in 2003 after being stabbed during a violent altercation. She's learning how to eat all over again. At the height of her empire fame as the fierce Cookie Lion, Taraji P. Henson faced an unexpected health scare that landed her in the hospital. She was diagnosed with gastritis, a painful inflammation of the stomach lining. To help her body heal, Taraji had to completely rethink her diet, cutting down on sweets and dairy and focusing on foods that would realkaline her system. In other words, no more cookies for Cookie. Reflecting on what led to her diagnosis, she admitted she hadn't always treated her body with kindness. "I was very bad to my stomach for a very long time, and I didn't know," she shared. Learning to nourish herself properly was a whole new challenge. "I'm learning how to eat all over again. It's like introducing a baby to solid foods," she explained. It's all about the Zen. Along with transforming her diet, Taraji P. Henson has made it a priority to recharge her mind and body from the inside out. In an interview with The Cut, she detailed her daily routine, which can kick off as early as 4 in the morning. "The first thing I do when I wake is meditate," she explained. "I try to set my mind right. I tell myself that no matter what, today is going to be a good day. So when those curveballs come, I'm not taken by surprise." Taraji admitted that if she skips her morning meditation, she notices the difference right away. "Things aggravate me," she said, adding that she tends to pop off more easily when she doesn't take time to center herself. Beyond the morning ritual, Taraji has woven mindfulness into her entire day. I find myself being in a meditative state all the time, she told the outlet. I'll be in my house doing things in total silence, and even though I'm active, my thoughts aren't racing. That's a meditative state, too. Cooking for the stars. Sure, Taraji P. Henson could probably dine at Michelin star restaurants every night if she wanted, but the truth is, she'd rather whip up her own favorite dishes at home. I love to cook and look for recipes all the time, she shared with Glamour magazine. I make lasagna, great collard greens, and I do an amazing Thanksgiving turkey. Sounds like an invite we'd gladly accept. Her signature dish, though, is chili. Both red chili and a white bean chicken chili that has earned some serious fans. Every time Mary J. Blige comes to town, she requests it, Taraji revealed. She'll say, "Taraji, are you going to make that chili?" And when she's away, she'll even ask me to freeze a bag, and her assistant will come pick it up. Taraji's love of food goes beyond just feeding friends. She once told Friday Talks Food that if she hadn't become an actress, she would happily travel the world, eating and blogging about food whenever she felt like it. A wow-worthy wardrobe. Taraji P. Henson isn't shy about her love for fashion, especially when it comes to shoes. She told Glamour magazine with a laugh, "I have a bit of a shoe problem," before describing her dream-worthy custom-built closet. "I just had it made and am so happy with it. There are pictures of all the shoes, and there's even a ladder in there so I can reach everything." Honestly, who wouldn't want to shop that closet? Her passion for style might sound familiar to fans of Empire, since Cookie Lion is also a fashion powerhouse. But Taraji pointed out that they do differ. "When I'm walking around in the city, I don't wear heels, but Cookie would," she explained. "She does a lot of things that we wouldn't do. Trust me, she's my hero." And it doesn't stop at shoes. In another Glamour chat, Taraji admitted her shopping habits might have gotten a little out of hand. "I have clothes in every closet of my house. The only closet I haven't taken over yet is my son's, but give it time," she joked. Her happily ever after. In a heartfelt Instagram post on May 14, 2018, Taraji P. Henson shared the exciting news that she was engaged to former NFL player Kelvin Hayden. "I said yes, y'all," she wrote, adding that he started with a Cartier love bracelet as a Mother's Day gift, before dropping to one knee and completely taking her breath away. In an interview with Extra, Taraji couldn't hide her joy, calling Kelvin really good for each other. She revealed they were hoping for a wedding that felt personal and meaningful. "The wedding is probably gonna be home, somewhere with his family and my family, a nice meeting ground where everyone can get to," she explained, imagining a celebration that brought their loved ones together. Speaking to Us Weekly, Taraji shared plans for a small, intimate wedding targeted for the end of June, early July, 2019. With her sense of style, there was no doubt she'd look absolutely stunning walking down the aisle. Fans were already eagerly awaiting a glimpse of her big day. Who is Taraji P. Henson's son, Marcel Johnson? There has always been one constant, unshakable presence in Taraji P. Henson's life, her son Marcel, whom she has described to people as her greatest gift. In her memoir, Around the Way Girl, Taraji credited single motherhood for sharpening her focus and giving her an unbreakable drive. Taraji shares Marcel with her high school sweetheart, William Lamar, Mark Johnson, whom she met at a movie theater when she was 17. Sadly, their relationship turned abusive, and she ended things after it escalated. It started with bruises and grabbing, things like that, and then once the fist came, once the bald hand came, and I'm missing a piece of my lip to this day, that's when I knew I had to go, she revealed on her Peace of Mind with Taraji series. Tragedy struck again years later when Marcel was just 9 and Mark was murdered in a stabbing. Taraji shared how painful it was to break that news to her son. "My son's father was suddenly taken, murdered, when he was 9, and I didn't know how to tell him that," she explained. Instead, she told Marcel it was an accident, only for him to later learn the truth. The two sought therapy together to heal. Marcel has grown into a young man who clearly makes Taraji proud. He's accompanied her on countless red carpets and was right by her side when she received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2019. In her emotional speech that day, she said, "I'll never give up, because if I give up, what am I teaching my son?" Marcel has followed in her creative footsteps, acting in 16 episodes of Empire according to IMDb, and even dabbling in music, releasing the Dikembe EP in 2015, which his proud mom celebrated on Instagram. In 2018, he took to the runway during New York Fashion Week, with Taraji posting "Proud Mommy Moment" alongside photos of his modeling debut. Taraji P. Henson wasn't doing well with her mental health. Taraji P. Henson is in a good place these days, but getting there wasn't easy. At 54, the actress is no stranger to therapy, and she's turned her own mental health battles into a mission to help others. In 2018, she launched the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, named after her father, who struggled with PTSD and bipolar disorder, to make mental health services more accessible. A year later, she spoke tearfully before Congress about the mental health crisis affecting the Black community. And in 2020, she opened up to Entertainment Tonight about experiencing suicidal thoughts during the pandemic, sharing that therapy had helped her get much better. Yet even while speaking out publicly about mental health, Henson admits she was silently crumbling inside. "I wasn't doing well," she recalled. "Nothing could make me happy. Jobs, things, stuff. I developed a shopping habit and nothing was fulfilling. I was tightly wound. Every little thing would set me off, and I didn't like who I was becoming." During the pandemic, she says she felt like she was spiraling out of control, grieving friends lost to suicide while feeling mentally overwhelmed herself. That darkness finally lifted after she took a solo month-long trip to Bali, which she calls the most beautiful experience I ever had in my life. The journey transformed her so deeply, she didn't even want to come home. Henson now calls herself the post-Bali Taraji, and has channeled that healing energy into new projects, including a collaboration with Kate Spade, the fashion label whose co-founder died by suicide in 2018. Together, they're creating mental health oases on HBCU campuses, offering free therapy sessions and wellness practices like music, art, and dance therapy to support young Black women who might not have the means to travel across the world to heal like she did. Henson hopes to change that with the launch of her mental wellness pods, safe, welcoming spaces on HBCU campuses where students can get therapy and other mental health resources. The first pod will open at Alabama State University, with more to come. "I became pregnant when I was in college, and so did other girls," Henson recalled, reflecting on her own years at Howard University. "A lot of them dropped out because they didn't have help. That does a thing to you. I couldn't do anything about it then, but I can do something about it now." Henson also hopes these programs will encourage more diversity within the mental health field itself. "It's really hard to find someone who looks like us, who we can feel comfortable talking to," she explained. "We don't talk about this stuff at home, and there aren't enough Black therapists out there because our kids aren't going into that field." Through her efforts, Taraji hopes to break down those barriers, one campus at a time. Taraji P. Henson Slam's industry lies about Black stories. For years, Taraji P. Henson was told that movies and television shows centered on Black characters, especially those featuring Black women, wouldn't resonate with global audiences. That myth was completely shattered during the international press tour for Empire, the series that turned her unforgettable character Cookie Lyon into a worldwide icon. "When I did the international press for Empire, I'd been told up until then that Black doesn't translate overseas," she recalled. "Really? We went to Paris. Lee Daniels kept me a secret at a Q&A event, and the audience started asking Cookie questions. He said, 'Why don't you ask her yourself?' Before he could even finish saying my name, the entire room erupted in applause and was screaming, 'For me?'" Taraji described stepping on stage and breaking down in tears, completely overwhelmed by the love and recognition. "The myth was busting. You lied to me my entire career," she said. "I leave the stage and there are fans outside who know my name. That changed the game." Shifting focus from awards to impact. While Hollywood often pushes stars to focus on trophies and accolades, Taraji P. Henson has chosen to shift her priorities back to why she fell in love with acting in the first place. "Sometimes in the industry you make it about the trophies and the awards, but that's never why I got into it," she explained. "I came into this to change lives. The arts saved me. I was a little black girl in the hood in D.C. during the crack epidemic. I was supposed to be a statistic. I wasn't supposed to make it out, but I did." Now, Henson is no longer interested in chasing external validation. Instead, she's committed to pursuing projects that align with her heart, uplift others, and give her a deeper sense of purpose. Taraji P. Henson demands fair pay and ownership. Taraji P. Henson has also been refreshingly honest about the pay inequality she's faced for years and how she's finally putting a stop to it. "I had spent years being graceful and getting paid less than. Not anymore, though," she declared. After returning from her healing trip to Bali, she doubled down on investing in her beauty brand, TPH, and exploring other business ventures. "Instead of relying on that check from Hollywood," she explained, "I dove headfirst into business." She encouraged other women in the industry to know their worth and stand up for themselves. "I urge you all to speak up for yourself," she said. "I have worked my butt off to build the following I have. Those people ride for me. That's an audience I earned through my hard work and the characters I play." Henson went on to explain that she now understands her true value. "When a studio calls me, they're calling because they know all these people will show up. That's my power. You need me because you need my following. Thank you, social media. Once I figured that out, I just started speaking up for myself." A new chapter for Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson is stepping into a new chapter with a renewed mindset and a stronger, clearer voice. She's done letting the machine dictate her moves, choosing instead to pursue projects driven by passion rather than pressure. She captured it best herself. "The freedom of doing what I want to do and not being controlled by the industry or the machine." Her recent film, Straw, premiered on Netflix on June 6, 2025. And it's more than just another role for her. It represents a powerful rebirth, one fully on her own terms. How much money does Taraji P. Henson have? According to Celebrity Net Worth, Taraji P. Henson first tasted big-screen success with her breakout role in Baby Boy back in 2001. Not long after, she starred in the award-winning Hustle and Flow alongside Terrence Howard, proving once again that nearly every role she takes on is met with critical acclaim. Thanks to her talent and unstoppable drive, Henson has built a thriving career and an impressive lifestyle. She owns a luxury condo in Chicago purchased for nearly $2 million, plus 2 Los Angeles properties reportedly worth around $7 million combined. Estimates place her net worth anywhere from $16 million to as high as $25 million. However you look at it, Taraji's success and resilience are truly admirable. What do you think was the most powerful part of Taraji's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. See you in the next video. Bye.